light in the window for me.
It's because sorry, that's the first thing you guys have to hear. Ooh, excuse me. I had 29 seconds. Here we go. Good evening. Alright, good. Come on the camera. Good evening, Retroverse. Good evening, people throughout the globe, the universe, and everything itself. My name is Retro Scorpion speaking here on the Retroverse XL channel. How's everybody doing? Good evening, everybody. I would like to personally. That was a microwave, but it can wait. Um, First of all, hello, Jory Game Bites. Welcome in, brother. How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Sorry, I was a little bit absent prepping my nightly delish dish meal, warm meal if I had to go as far as that, because it is in fact a warm meal. Anyhow, big hello to Sticks HD Gaming. Thank you for the like, brother. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody. I know that it's been kind of confusing the past couple of days for some of my viewers in regard to basically me just been on and off. So the thing is, me being on holiday, if you will, I have taken the liberty of taking time off of YouTube as well as any kind of streaming platform. Really, the only other streaming platform I use is Twitch, so options are kind of limited on where I go, you know. But evidently in itself, I'm here right now on the streaming service thing of Restream that's connected to my YouTube. So what's going on, guys? As we all know, it's freaking Monday. We all know what Monday is like. It's like, it's like, it's like, God damn it. But anyway, we all know that it's 5 o'clock. Sorry, 5:48 p.m. at night for some of us. On the other side of the world, it's probably the other way around. It's probably 5:48 a.m. in the freaking morning. If you are awake at that hour, what the hell do you think you're doing? Get some goddamn sleep. Um. So yeah, we had a bit of. I want to first say I've learned a couple things in regard in mentioning to this computer that I'm currently using. I've also learned like what it can handle, what it can't handle in regard to games and streaming capabilities. I had to do some research in regard to the so aside from just getting this thing and having difficulty getting streams on OBS to run smoothly, I've also encountered the ideology of or the fact of whenever I went into Microsoft Edge, which is its current default browser, I have come across the screen like flickering, glitching. So I had to typically look up how to deal with that, and there was not a lot of wiggle room or meat on the bone for information on how to deal with that. Evidently, I had solved the problem. I had found out what the problem was with the screen flickering, and anytime I went into Microsoft Edge, it was because there was a graphics driver that was not exactly supposed to be there. It was a graphics driver that you would consider or IT techs or techies would consider incompatible to the system. So I found out that that was the key problem in with what I all had for information. So for right now, I've taken care of the whole Windows browser I currently have, which is Microsoft Edge, making the screen glitch. Now, does that necessarily fix the problem with OBS streams running smoothly? I'm not 100%, but I will see what I can do. So, I'm not, I'm not saying that we fixed the problem. Not saying no, we didn't fix the problem. We'll set it up so, and of course, Uber connecting. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little connection issue just a few months ago. It just popped up on screen. Anywho, is what it is. But evidently, I'm just working as best as I can with this PC just to get whatever settings we need right on the PC. Anyway, sit tight. I need to grab my meal, and then of course we will continue on with the official Monday Digest. Even though we normally hold those in the mornings, but I felt obligated to do this because we haven't done a digest podcast in so long, it seems, in itself, So stand by. I'm going to grab my meal because, no offense, I'm kind of starving, kind of hungry. And I'll be right back. I'll be over by the microwave grabbing my meal and kind of finishing off the preps. So I'll see you here in a minute. I'm not going to shut down the stream in case anyone's wondering that. So just hold on. In regard to people in this listening that don't like being faced with the camera, I have to put up what we call a blur screen. So there you go. And then while I'm at it, hold on. Let's put up settings. Let's suppose I go second degree. Let me see what I can do here. Your background. Thank you. That's a blur. Well there. Shit, man. Let's try that. Do this. I'm not 100% sure if it's doing its job, but it's okay. That's besides the point. Should be doing its job anytime soon, so it's fine. Alright, guys, finish prepping my meal. So. In other words, we are going to a tropical setting, so stay tuned. Alright, guys, I'm back. Just kind of enjoying lunch. Oh, well, not lunch. It's more like dinner, but it's fine. So what I have here is your typical ramen noodles, but you know, it's good. So, Laura, let's once again say hello to Jory Game Bites and Six Gamings, as well as thanks to anyone. Well, so far, what looks to be the three people who have left the like on me. We love my page here as well as my chat to kind of see if there's any improvements in chat as well as numbers. Um, so one of the things we had attempted to do earlier was we attempted to play. And I'm not talking about earlier today. I'm talking about like before I came over here. So aside from there being a gameplay of Lego Lord of the Rings, I've come to realize like um, YouTube has like seriously, they copyrighted me like what looked to be a ton of times on that. They didn't really block the video. There was no like strike or anything. It's just the fact that they said, "Oh, this is owned by this." It's like YouTube. It's a game. It's a Lego game. It's gonna do that. So one of the things I have to figure out when I get back to home turf, which is my office is and my YouTube studio is, which is my bedroom nonetheless. I have to basically, if I ever play Lego Lord of the Rings again, I'm gonna have to figure out how to shut off. I think I very well got copyrighted by the music in the game, so I'm gonna have to shut that off in the game. So it's like, dude, YouTube, what are you doing? Like these guys, these poor streamers, man, just trying to entertain, and y'all just be doing that. But yeah, it's fine. But while we're at it, when we get back, home turf is my studio, my YouTube studio, aka bedroom. I think we will have some things to plan. We will have. God, I don't know. You see, this is. Let me talk to you guys about something, okay? Real quick, chat. When someone like me, who is a like what we call a diehard streamer, someone that streams daily, almost every step of the way, and that's his like lifestyle, you kind of lose track. You know what I mean? You and not only lose track, you get thrown off track with your kind of float of equal. You get thrown off the equator, sort of. And it's one of those moments, when I took the 2 days off, which I know I needed. Um, God forbid I need it after 13 years of being on this platform as a content creator, no less. I know I needed the 2 days. I think very well I've earned that. So, but yeah, evidently I do know that even though it was good to take 2 days off, I also know that it kind of threw me off my balance groove. So my vibe, my flow. So, but I do know when we get back. I do know when we get back to the studio. I do know there's a couple of things I need to get done in regards to the setup. In regards to, not to mention, guys, when I get back to my studio in this coming week or throughout this week, I'll be getting my $25 bonus, and that means I have to go grocery shopping. And I've also found out that this weekend, this is kind of mandatory, or it's a regular thing that goes on. So, as you all know, this past weekend I was here at my sister's. So that means the next coming weekend, I'm gonna be at home turf. That includes Saturday. So you guys should very well know what that means. So I feel like it's all the events have all aligned perfectly in regard to like you know the $25 bonus coming this week in regard to the new month. Um, the fact that this week all the like taking the 2 days off, it seems it's all falling in line, but So what's gonna happen, guys, is along with the fact of me going shopping possibly Wednesday or Thursday, I'm gonna be buying a box of cereal, as we normally do. I will also be buying milk because it's kind of mandatory. So I guess what I'm trying to say to kind of give you a clue in, this Saturday we will I guess attempt to do a Saturday cereal tap. But here's the little switch, the little catch, if you will. Due to like StreamYard's newest update to where you have to have upgraded like membership to use your intros. I'm like, so due to that, I'm pretty much limited to basically using Restream because of the fact that hello, we had our own like cereal chat intro, and now it's just sitting in Canva, almost like collecting email or e-dust, as we call it. Puns, I tell you, being a computer techie. Anyhow, so what I'm going to need to do also while I'm at my studio is to not only get there and go shopping, but as soon as I go back to my studio, when I hook up to the main computer we use, um, I'm gonna have to like consider like getting that particular shareable chat intro footage clip thing, whatever you call it, to and upload it to Restream for me to use that for shareable chat. Like I said, guys, it's been kind of a what they call technical roller coaster in regard to like tech and computer stuff, all that stuff. So yeah. So in regard to that, um, when we have the cerebral tap this Saturday, it will not be what you think it will be. It will not be what you're used to. It will not be something you're familiar with it being for a vibe. Just a heads up. And the reason why I say this is because one, it's not going to be an open. It's not going to be an open panel because do not like dropping links in chat when it's restreamed because there's no way to block fuckers out of their trolls. Two, different platform, different skill set of layout and everything. That's the other thing. Also, if there is any chance of me posting links for people to come up, it's really going to be only people I know personally that are actual diehard streamers, if that. So that's really the only people coming up for that kind of deal, or any podcast from now on, because of reasons in regard to Streamlabs or no StreamYard's new update, and it's really sad. I personally do not like the fact that they took our streamers' ability to use our to upload or just play one of our intros for free. It's like, dude, we worked hard on our intro. We should be able to play it for free. But that's business, guys. That's showbiz in their eyes, So, real quick, let me just serve my. So, aside from that, I also know I have to like finish watching something of Cosmos. Cosmo had requested me to watch. I started what and Cosmo, if you're in chat, I don't know if you are or not, but if you are, listen to this. I had just started watching your art. I'm enjoying it. It's nice. I love how the the little gun shop owner treats like Claire differently than the way treats than the way he treats Leon. So, and for those that have never played the classic version of Resident Evil 2, you need to hear this. Okay, there is a slight difference in manners or the way the gun shop owner like speaks to to the characters between Leon and Claire. What gets me is, and y'all can quote me on this later, when you're talking to Leon, when he like sees Leon come into a shop and sees potential threat, he points the gun at Leon and same deal. And of course, Leon says, "Don't you? I'm a human." And same deal. So, but he like talks to Leon as if he were talking serious because hello, Leon S. Kennedy in that game's a cop. So, but when the gunship owner talks to Claire in the game, he's a little bit softer. So, which is kind of a nice little touch in regard to the fact that they are in a zombie apocalypse. You don't want to like overstimulate somebody. So I find that kind of interesting. How the difference between how they, you know. So that's been one interesting thing about certain people I've watched this week, weekend, whatever you want to call it. It's been, and to be fair, Cosmo's been really the only person I've watched in regard to this weekend during my you know, um, I guess vacay holiday. Cosmo was one of the first people that I've watched this week, in regard to one of his videos. And I'm not. I know if they're thinking, "Oh, you probably watch some other people." Well, I did, but what I'm trying to say is, Cosmo's the only streamer in my community I've watched this week. If you catch my meaning, he's the only one I've watched this week. This being the start of the week, regardless. So he's the first person I've watched this week that's in my community. That is another content creator, if you will. So I do plan to watch some other people's stuff. I'm still just a heads up, folks. I'm still kind of taking it easy, taking a load off. Still kind of wrapping my head around the tech here and testing qualities. That's all it is. So I may be taking a load off in regards to holiday, but I'm still doing behind the scenes technical work in regards to tinkering with settings, tinkering with streaming, all that stuff. So, not to mention, I have come to learn this laptop's camera is very delayed. Like we're talking, frame rate is not as good as your standard HD camera. So, there's that. But I don't necessarily have a choice because from what I see, the laptop has only got two USB ports, so I had to choose between taking a risk of using the HD webcam's microphone, which most people don't understand this. When you have an HD webcam, okay, and you have fans blowing or anything in the background going on, your webcam's microphone tends to be a little bit more muffled than usual. So I had to choose between being able to use that webcam and the muffled microphone, or having a better microphone, but not exactly an HD camera. So it was like one of those Sophie's Choice situations. Mm. That's spicy. That's spicier than I thought. Guys, give me a sec to whoop this time. I'll actually get tomorrow. In the meantime, enjoy these festival. This music. I will this meal down. All right, so yeah, I hate to tell you guys this. I need to end because I have some days and probably get ready for another stream. Because in regard to figuring out our little glitch problem with the browser, I think we may have also figured out other things. So expect first a test stream, then the actual stream. We're gonna attempt to run Star Trek timelines again. Excuse me. We're gonna test run that first, and then we're gonna run it through an actual stream. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you soon. Peace.